So first of all, you're going to need some purple fondant. And for this color, I just mixed a little bit of electric purple with some deep pink. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to add lots and lots of CMC powder because I've got to have this ready for Monday, which is 2 days from now. So I'm going to add plenty. This is also going to help us to cut some really sharp edges. If your fondant's soft, if you try to cut into it, it's just going to like mush, for example. See how it just caves in? Take out the air bubbles. And you can take out the air bubbles just by twisting and stretching it. And so I'm going to start off with the bottom portion. So we have our purple fondant. I'm just going to roll it out. This part's going to be covered, so it kind of doesn't really matter what color you decide to use for this, but I just have a little more purple. I'm going to get it as much in a square shape as I can, and you actually don't need to worry if there's like some cracks and stuff because it's going to be covered by all the little fringe part. Get this the exact size that I want it. Kind of like form it. Form it into a square shape. And then we'll just go ahead and set that aside. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make the legs. And so I added CMC powder to that. And I'm going to take some popsicle sticks. I want these to go all the way down into the cake. So the legs are quite thin, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, these are 6-inch sticks, I'm just going to break these in half. So we have 3 inches approximately, and we're going to roll this out. And I'm going to make it, I don't know, what is that, 1/8 of an inch thick? I'm going to take my X-Acto knife. By the way, if you're in need of any of these tools, I will put the links below. I may have made that one too thin, but we'll see. So let's check this. I'm going to take a little bit of water and we're just going to add it to the stick. And this doesn't need to be very long, so I'm probably just going to go ahead and cut some off. But I also have to keep in mind that there needs to be some that sticks right into the leg. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it like that and then roll it. You don't want to do it too much because it'll actually somehow just pulls it right off the stick. Just get that as smooth as possible. And I'm going to go ahead and cut to get a straight line. So now we have more of a purple fondant, and I've already added the CMC powder to that. I'm going to roll it out. It doesn't need to be as thick as the body part. Bottom, and so that part doesn't really matter, but when you cut it sometimes you'll see like little holes and lines that you may not like. I'm going to go ahead and angle this a little bit, and that's the great thing about these cutters is you can bend them and then it'll cut. And then so for this part I'm going to bend it as well. Right here for the back of the head. Cut that down a little further. And I'm checking the other side to make sure like I don't have any lines, especially on the top of the head. We don't want any like creases back here or even in the front. Then I'm gonna cut the mouth. Now I'm gonna cut the mouth. Bend that up a little bit. Details. So I'm going to take some white fondant and I'm going to roll it out. I'm going to take a number 10 piping tip. That's a Wilton number 10. I'm just going to cut out 2 eyes. And then I'm going to draw around the edges to define it using edible marker. Add a little water to attach it. Got the water on that side. Make sure that your hands are really dry, because if they're not, it's going to smear black. I'm going to go ahead and stand that up so I don't smash one side down. Okay, so now for the mouth, I'm going to use some black fondant, and I'm just going to roll it out very thin, and I'm going to cut a rectangle shape. So I've already added a little bit of water to the mouth, and I'm just going to stick that in there. I'm going to take some black fondant, and I'm going to cut 2 little circles for the eyes. And this is a number 5 piping tip, and sometimes you get it stuck in there, which kind of makes it easier just to stick it on. Go ahead and put that on. If it doesn't stick, you need to add just a little brush of water. You want that to be right in the center. Give them that surprise look. I think it's a little big, so I'm just going to push it in. Get a little smaller. Now I'm going to cut out the teeth. I could usually kind of estimate it, but like if you need to, you know, you can get like a tape measure. Sides. Then I'm just going to like taper that down so that it fits nicely. Take a little bit of water and put some sides. So now using some dark gray fondant, I'm going to make the harnesses. So I'm cut some really thin strips of fondant. Just do 3 to be on the safe side. Take a ball tool, just press down. So to make the ears, I rolled the fondant out, and it's actually a little bit thinner right here and a little bit thicker right here. So I'm making darn jets. Cutting these at an angle. Let's see how they stick without having to put actual sticks in them. I try to put the least amount of supports possible, but sometimes you just have to do it. I think they'll probably stay. Take my fondant tool, kind of just press on there, further blend it. What I've done is I've taken a foam and I've inserted the legs. I pre-inserted them so that when I pull the whole topper off, it doesn't come apart. So it just makes it a little looser. So I put the legs in, I positioned them how I needed to with the fondant. Kind of wanted these ones at an angle. And so I'm going to position them where I want them, and then I'm just going to mark them. Mark where I want them to go. I'm not pushing them all the way in, but I've made my marks. Then I'm going to take another popsicle stick, and then I'm going to go ahead and pre-make these holes. It's best, of course, to do this before you put the little fringe part on, because obviously I'm holding this and then that might mess up all your work. Some toppers can't be done in a day. You'd have to give them like a day or two in between to dry. So now that I've made those, let's see how this works. These are just at a slight angle. And these are hard enough too that the weight of this is not going to squish these down. And also adding the CMC powder helps with that. So see, I just pull those out. Make sure they're all secure. And then what I'm going to do additionally to make sure that it sticks together and dries well is I'm just going to add a little bit of water in each hole and then reattach the legs. And so I'm going to go ahead and attach the head now. going to use that using a toothpick. And a little bit of water. You want to be careful you don't smash down his ears. And then center it. It's probably a good idea to pre-make this hole because you don't want it to, these are so firm that this might just push the toothpick all the way down into the body and then there's nothing really holding this. All we really need to do now is add the little fringes and the little harness. What is that? A saddle. To add the fringes and the saddle and like the tail on the back. I'm going to set that aside. So I haven't added too much CMC powder to this, just enough so that it's not all overly stretchy when I'm lifting it off the mat. Start this at the bottom of the llama because they're going to be like overlapping layers. So I'm going to wet all around the bottom. So actually, if you want to make your life easier, you can use a strip cutter. The strips, I didn't use it to begin with because the strips would have been too small. I need this a little bit thicker, but I do believe they sell these to cut different thicknesses of strips. But what I'm going to do for the fringe, and it'll also come out uniform, is just do that. And it's much, much faster. I'll put the link for this in the description box. This actually is one of my tools that I use quite often. It just makes my life way easier. The little side part of the llama, I'm going to use some gray fondant and I'm going to roll it out a little thicker than I normally would. These aren't like perfect rectangles, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut kind of a imperfect shape here. So I'm just going to put this on the top to kind of connect the two little signs that are on the side. See if that fits. Brush on a little water. Now we need the tail. So now to make the tail, I just have some more of the dark purple and I'm going to roll it out. I've added some CMC. For this, I'll use my strip cutter. Sometimes it'll get stuck to it. All you have to do is just pull it out. And for this, we're just gonna kind of like crush it a little bit and want it to look a little messy. Add a little bit of water. Almost forgot the nostrils. So I'm just using an edible marker. Now I'm using a little bit of luster dust just to highlight the little silverware that is right here. We're finished, and he's super cute, and I'm sure that any child or even adult that loves to play this game would love to have this on their cake. So thanks for watching. I hope you like this tutorial. Please leave a comment below if you have any questions, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye.